the Daleks. They've been a classic monster for 50 years, and they're still on the top of the scale to be the most feared monster. They've had some good moments, they've had some bad moments, and of course they've had some masterpiece moments. Join me in this journey as I do the top 10 Dalek stories. So hey, welcome everybody to the top 10 Dalek stories. Of course, I'm just showcasing a couple here, just to the start of the introduction video. These Dalek stories sadly did not get into the top 10. I'm not sad about one of them, but Dalek Invasion of Earth, Day of the Daleks, Resurrection of the Daleks, Destiny of the Daleks. No, I'm sorry. Doesn't even deserve to be here. But of course, I will be doing, my top 10, and we're going to get started straight away. So at number 10, we have Planet of the Daleks. It's definitely a Dalek story I really like. I actually like all these Dalek stories on this list. They are very good. But I will explain why I've rated this one low. It is actually an underrated Dalek story, which I actually could not believe. It's actually rated 120th place or somewhere near there, which was quite low. That was below, slightly below average. And I do think it's a little higher than average, so it needs a bit of a boost. But this story is also called the Trash Compactor story, because basically it's just all the Dalek stories put into a trash compactor and all crumbled together. So that's what it's actually called. Some people nickname it. It is a bit draggy in some places, and the Daleks are pretty good in this one, but it's just not my favourite. So that was Planet of the Daleks. Moving on to 9th place, we have Where They All Began for the Daleks in the Daleks. This is definitely a story I do really enjoy. The Daleks, again, are really good. They basically have they do seem like they have no feelings, just like the Cybermen they do. They just don't care. They are horrible, evil monsters. And yeah, I do enjoy this one. The start of it was fantastic, but it's sort of dragged too long. And I know 5-parters are odd, but I think it would work a lot better if it was a 5-parter. I think 5 parts would suit the story, or possibly 6. So that was, at number 9, the Daleks. Moving on to number 8, this is the first story I ever got in my collection to start my DVD collection off. Death to the Daleks. I would definitely put this in, because this is where it all began to start my DVD collection. A brilliant Dalek story it is. I find it so humorous. The Daleks, you wouldn't really call the Daleks in this the masters of the universe, because they get completely wasted by sticks. Axolons hitting them with sticks somehow could destroy a Dalek. Yeah, they're not really the masters of the universe in this story. They do get, basically killed by sticks. So yeah, I love the Axolon City on it, part 4. That's just fantastic. Reminds me a bit of Pyramids of Mars type of style, when they do all these challenges or whatever, or get through to the next level. That was really good. Classic story in my opinion, and I really like this Dalek story. And it is gone into my top 10 John Pertwee stories now. I've really got to update that. At number 7, we have Bad Wolf, or Parting of the Ways. The 2-parter is basically the Parting of the Ways, because that's when they come into. A fantastic story this one is. All these Dalek stories coming up are just too fantastic. It was really hard to narrow down, but this one's just brilliant. It's the return of the Dalek Emperor from way back from Evil the Daleks, and now he's returned and still as good as ever in Parting of the Ways. Definitely the Daleks are at a very good best in this one. They are fantastic. So yeah, fantastic story. I highly recommend it if you haven't seen it, because Christopher Eccleston's ending is just fantastic. So at number 6, we have Dalek. brilliant. My favourite Christopher Eccleston, I keep saying Eccleston story. It shows the full power of a Dalek, what it's capable of, and you can see this thing, this monster, this evil thing to be the master of the universe, because it just killed so many people in this one. It's really dark, this one. The Ninth Doctor, you can see, has this anger on him, his reaction when he sees the Dalek, because, you know, this was just before he last seen the Dalek from the Time War, when he was fighting the Time War, but then he returned, and then seeing that anger, this thing, this evil thing which killed all your people, and then you see it again, how you would feel angry to see something that you did so much damage to your life. You would be just mortified, just like the Doctor. Brilliant story, fantastic, just generally brilliant. So at number 5, we have Genesis of the Daleks. It is definitely a classic story. It has been ranked at number 1 by Doctor Who magazine, even though I do disagree, it's not the best story, but it still deserves definitely on the list anyway for a fantastic Dalek story. It is very well acted, very well written. It's just a fab story. All the actors on top form. Michael Wisher as Davros, the best. No one can top him. I can't think of anyone else who can top him to play Davros. He's definitely the best. And he always will be the best. So that was Genesis of the Daleks. I think everyone's seen this story. If you haven't, if you're a Doctor Who fan, I think you've been living in a hole. Everyone knows about this story. So now, at number 4, we have the lost and epic, the fantastic even, the Daleks Master Plan, which sadly only 3 episodes exist of it, which is a real shame. I know they have more parts of it located because they did sell some other parts around the globe, but this story will never be completed. Because some parts of it were never shipped or sold across the country, so this story will never have been completed. I think it said the Golden Death would never return, Mission to the Unknown will never return, but they had in brackets a possibility, but they said episode 9 will never be found of this. But this is such a classic story, this one is. It's fantastic acting in this. It's unbelievable. This is acting at its real best. William Hartnell does a fantastic job. This actor right here who played in The Invasion, I keep forgetting his name, but he's just so good in this as well. And this story is actually very dark, actually. I knew it was going to be dark anyway, but not as dark as I was expecting. You need to listen to this. It's absolutely fantastic. Don't listen to it all in one go because you'll probably die. So that was the Daleks Master Plan. Highly recommended. So at number 3 we have Remembrance of the Daleks. It's so action-packed, this story, with 2 Dalek factions in this fighting each other, explosions, battle, drama, superb acting. It's just a story which is beyond fantastic. Again, if you haven't seen this one and you want to give Sylvester McCoy a chance, even though he's underrated, and you want to give him a chance, start with this story, Sylvester McCoy. It will make a great addition to your collection, even a starter for your collection. It's just a brilliant story. Again, Davros does take a while to get into the story, he does, but it's still superb. At number 2 we have The Evil of the Daleks. Oh my word. Alright, now I've done a reaction video of this and I knew it was going to be good, but it surprised me how fantastic it was. I wouldn't even call it fantastic, I would call it inconceivable. It's just a masterpiece, this one is, and it's so it's actually really heartbreaking that this one's lost because it's such a classic. It's a shame, really, this one's lost because there's so many good moments in it. I'm speechless with this story, to be honest. Words can't even describe this one. If you haven't listened to this story, please, 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 you need to get it. It's such a fantastic story. Marvelous, fantastic, you know, words can't describe it. You need to listen to it yourself, and you will probably love it, and I will bet it will be one of your favourites. Now we're moving on to number 1. And now this story coming up here, I've been wanting to listen to this one for a very long time, but I finally got it, and I was godsmacked of it. So at number 1, here it is. We have Patrick Troughton's first ever story, The Power of the Daleks. Oh dear. I could just say the same with Evil of the Daleks. Words cannot describe it. This is basically the God's work here. The God's work made this. Oh my god, I literally love this story from start to finish, just like Evil of the Daleks. That's 7 parts, and I breezed through that like I really enjoyed, but this one definitely tops it for my favourite Dalek story. The acting's superb, the Daleks are really cunning in this one. They do not mess about in this one, they're at their very, very best. And I really want to see the story recovered. Everything about it is solid perfection. Masterful. God's work right here. So that was my top 10 Dalek stories. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you might disagree with some of my choices, but we'll go here. I'll just show my 3 favourite Dalek stories. These definitely are fantastic stories. I would say these are pretty close. Power of the Daleks tops them up for me. Remembrance was also, yeah, I don't think it was that close to Evil of the Daleks, but still, fantastic stories. These 3 are definitely my top 3 Dalek stories. Magnificent they are. So I hope you enjoyed this top 10 Dalek stories. I will see you in my next video, which is the review of Fury from the Deep, since 4 people requested me that. So, and someone else 3 months ago, but I finally got it now, so I can finally review it, because that's a very difficult audio to get hold of. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and have a fantastic day, everybody.